Severe epidemic in China. Multiple students in Nanjing die from influenza. 45-year-old anesthesiologist in Jiangsu suddenly passes away due to new coronavirus infection. Wenzhou shoe factory owner laments living worse than dying. China's military and government acquire Nvidia chips despite US ban. Taiwan election awakens Chinese, netizens' emotional responses amid censorship bypass. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Severe epidemic in China. Multiple students in Nanjing die from influenza. The epidemic continues to spread persistently throughout China, resulting in numerous infections and fatalities across various regions. The CCP's National Health Commission has noted that the ongoing winter break and the New Year period, characterized by extensive travel and large gatherings, are contributing to the accelerated transmission of respiratory pathogens, including the novel coronavirus and influenza. Notably, according to reports from NTD television, in Nanjing, Jiangsu, locals have reported that several students in the area's schools have recently died due to influenza. Ms. Liu, a resident of Nanjing, revealed that a significant outbreak in her office led to dozens of people coughing. Tragically, her daughter's classmate fell ill and died at the age of 13 within a short period, without any successful medical intervention. Several consecutive deaths have also occurred at the school. She elaborated, all those who died were children. The illness progressed to death very quickly. 3 children died en route to the hospital in just a matter of days. Ms. Liu herself contracted the illness and experienced severe symptoms. She even prepared last words for her family, feeling that her condition was worse than contracting the novel coronavirus. Furthermore, Ms. Liu, an employee at a state-owned company in mainland China, reported that many acquaintances suddenly passed away. Among them, a girl younger than her suffered a sudden brain hemorrhage, and another individual with a heart condition, who had previously appeared healthy, also died. She attributed these incidents to the epidemic and the forced, Chinese, vaccinations, claiming that the general health of Chinese citizens is declining. Expressing strong dissatisfaction with the authoritarian government's mandatory vaccination policy, she stated, "If you don't get vaccinated, they won't let you study or work, and you can't earn a living." Many are vaccinated not by choice but under compulsion, about 40 to 50% are coerced. Amidst the increasing number of infections and fatalities in China, recent online reports have surfaced indicating that some areas have reintroduced mobile cremation vehicles. This development has intensified fear among the Chinese population. 45-year-old anesthesiologist in Jiangsu suddenly passes away due to new coronavirus infection. Amidst the severe escalation of the epidemic, marked by a significant number of fatalities, the recent and unexpected death of Dr. Zhu Xiang, the chief anesthesiologist at Nanjing University-affiliated hospital in Jiangsu at the age of 45, has deeply shaken the public in mainland China. As of now, there has been no official response from the authorities concerning Dr. Zhu Xiang's death. Nonetheless, a colleague of Dr. Zhu shared on social media that Dr. Zhu had previously been infected with a variant of the new coronavirus. This infection triggered a myocardial infarction, ultimately leading to his sudden death. Another source stated that Dr. Zhu continued to work despite having contracted COVID-19, which eventually caused acute myocarditis. According to this informant, Dr. Zhu succumbed to cardiac arrest, and resuscitation attempts were unsuccessful. The event was extremely sudden and urgent, with no opportunity for an effective emergency response. Based on the videos that Dr. Zhu had posted on his account, his health appeared to be excellent, showing no signs of abnormalities. It is truly difficult to comprehend that he would pass away just 4 days later. The comments section below this video is currently filled with messages from netizens and patients mourning his untimely demise. Numerous online comments from netizens connect it to the Chinese vaccine, stating, "It's a tragedy." The efficacy of the Chinese vaccine is starting to become evident. They're starting to send people on their way. In recent days, the epidemic has seen widespread transmission in China, resulting in overwhelmed hospitals and a significant number of fatalities. Crematoriums are once again operating at full capacity. However, the CCP is concealing information about the epidemic, and official media outlets are providing minimal coverage. Wenzhou shoe factory owner laments living worse than dying. Ever since it was bestowed with the title of China's shoe capital by the China Light Industry Federation and the China Leather Industry Association in 2001, Wenzhou City in Zhejiang Province has enjoyed over 2 decades of prosperity, thriving on its reputation in the footwear industry. However, in the present day, the once thriving owners of shoe factories are expressing profound sorrow due to the grim circumstances that Wenzhou's shoe factories are currently grappling with. According to a factory owner, in previous years around this time, his factories would be at their busiest. It's year-end, and it felt like they were filling a bag with money. But this year is different. He explained that the reason is not a shortage of orders. Many factories are hesitant to accept orders because numerous companies have payment terms like payment made 3 months later, March 1st, or even payment made 6 months later, 6/1. This means that for the shoes being manufactured now, payment won't be received until after the new year. However, the factory still has to meet expenses such as worker salaries, repayment of loans to suppliers, utility bills, and rent for factory space. It's truly challenging for them. They are unable to undertake substantial orders, and they are reluctant to accept small orders because market conditions are extremely unfavorable. If they encounter customers who default on payment or disappear, they will have toiled for an entire year in vain. The owner lamented that moving forward feels like an endless abyss, and stepping back is like facing a cliff 1,000 feet high. It's incredibly tough. Amid tightening monetary conditions and a challenging real estate market, China's economic prospects look bleak. According to a Reuters survey, China's economic growth is projected to slow down to 4.6% in 2024, further decreasing to 4.5% in 2025. On January 15, the People's Bank of China, PBOC, announced that it would maintain the one-year policy lending rate at its current level, disappointing investors who had anticipated a rate cut. Given that financing and lending growth in December 2023 fell below expectations, investors expect the Chinese government to reinforce fiscal policies further. Robert Carnell, head of Asia-Pacific research at ING Group NV, told Bloomberg that he is neither disappointed nor surprised by the Chinese government's actions, but he believes that China is in for another tough year in 2024. Lack of confidence in the Chinese economy is not limited to domestic investors. Due to ongoing tightening monetary conditions, persistent pessimistic market sentiment, and unremarkable policy support, overseas investors have resumed selling Chinese domestic stocks in the new year. The Chinese stock market in 2024 experienced its worst start since 2019, with current trading prices approaching the lowest levels in nearly 5 years. According to data compiled by Bloomberg, global funds sold 7.9 billion yuan, approximately $1.1 billion, worth of stocks in the first 2 weeks of 2024, following substantial stock purchases in the final week of the previous year. This sell-off may result in a 6th consecutive month of capital outflows in January. China's military and government acquire Nvidia chips despite U.S. ban. According to a Reuters review of tender documents, Chinese military bodies, state-run artificial intelligence research institutes, and universities have over the past year purchased small batches of Nvidia semiconductors banned by the United States from export to China. The sales by largely unknown Chinese suppliers highlight the difficulties Washington faces, despite its bans, in completely cutting off China's access to advanced U.S. chips that could fuel breakthroughs in artificial intelligence (AI) and sophisticated computers for its military. Buying or selling high-end U.S. chips isn't illegal in China, and the publicly available tender documents show that dozens of Chinese entities have bought and taken receipt of Nvidia semiconductors since the restrictions were imposed. These include its A100 and the more powerful H100 chip, whose exports to China and Hong Kong were banned in September 2022, as well as the slower A800 and H800 chips Nvidia then developed for the Chinese market but which in October 2023 were also banned. The graphic processing units, a type of chip, that are built by Nvidia are widely seen as far superior to rival products for AI work as they can more efficiently process huge amounts of data needed for machine learning tasks. The continued demand for and access to banned Nvidia chips also underlines the lack of good alternatives for Chinese firms despite the nascent development of rival products from Huawei and others. Before the bans, Nvidia commanded a 90% share of China's AI chip market. Purchasers included elite universities as well as two entities subject to U.S. export restrictions, the Harbin Institute of Technology and the University of Electronic Science and Technology of China, which have been accused of involvement in military matters or of being affiliated to a military body contrary to U.S. national interest. The former purchased 6 Nvidia A100 chips in May 2023 to train a deep learning model. The latter purchased one A100 in December 2022. Its purpose wasn't identified. The Reuters review found neither Nvidia nor retailers approved by the company were among the suppliers identified. It wasn't clear how the suppliers procured their Nvidia chips. In the wake of U.S. curbs, however, an underground market for such chips in China has sprung up. Chinese vendors have previously said they snatch up excess stock that finds its way to the market after Nvidia ships large quantities to big U.S. firms or that they import through companies locally incorporated in places such as India, Taiwan, and Singapore. Nvidia said it complies with all applicable export control laws and requires its customers to do the same. A company spokesperson said, "If we learn that a customer has made an unlawful resale to third parties, we'll take immediate and appropriate action." U.S. authorities have vowed to close loopholes in the export restrictions and have moved to limit access to the chips by units of Chinese companies located outside China. Chris Miller, professor at Tufts University and author of Chip War, The Fight for the World's Most Critical Technology, said it was unrealistic to think that U.S. export restrictions could be watertight given that chips are small and can easily be smuggled. He said, "The main aim is to throw sand in the gears of China's AI development by making it difficult to build large clusters of advanced chips capable of training AI systems." After Washington banned Nvidia from selling the graphics card RTX 4090 to China in November last year, although it launched the RTX 4090D version specially produced for China last month, according to the actual measurement of China's Super Network, X-Preview, the 4090D is only 5% slower than the original version on average. Military AI buyers. The review includes more than 100 tenders in which state entities have procured A100 chips, and dozens of tenders since the October 2023 ban show purchases of the A800. Tenders published last month also show that Tsinghua University procured 2 H100 chips and that a laboratory run by China's Ministry of Industry and Information Technology procured one. The buyers include one unnamed People's Liberation Army entity based in the city of Wuxi, Jiangsu province, according to tenders from a military database. It sought 3 A100 chips in October 2023 and 1 H100 chip this month. Military tenders in China are often heavily redacted, and Reuters wasn't able to learn who won the bids or the reason for the purchase. Most tenders show the chips are being used for AI. The quantities of most purchases are, however, very small and far from what's needed to build a sophisticated AI large language model from scratch. A model similar to OpenAI's GPT would require more than 30,000 Nvidia A100 cards, according to research firm TrendForce. But a handful can run complex machine learning tasks and enhance existing AI models. In one example, the Shandong Artificial Intelligence Institute awarded a 290,000 yuan, approximately $40,500, contract for 5 A100 chips to Shandong Qingshan Electronic Technology last month. Many of the tenders stipulate that suppliers have to deliver and install the products before receiving payment. Most universities also published notices showing the transaction was completed. Tsinghua University, dubbed China's Massachusetts Institute of Technology, is a prolific issuer of tenders and has purchased some 80 A100 chips since the 2022 ban. In December 2023, Chongqing University published a tender for one A100 chip that explicitly stated it couldn't be second-hand or disassembled but had to be brand new. According to a notice, the delivery was completed this month. Taiwan election awakens Chinese, netizens' emotional responses amid censorship bypass. The Taiwan election concluded on the evening of January 13 and has attracted significant attention and discussions both within the country and on the international stage, raising concerns for the CCP. They have not only restricted related searches on Weibo but have also implemented comment filtering, allowing only comments related to national reunification to remain. However, internet users have found ways to bypass these restrictions to monitor the progress of the Taiwan elections. One Chinese internet user posted on the well-known overseas forum Reddit, expressing, "Please refrain from posting about the Taiwan elections. As someone who cannot vote, it's extremely painful to watch. It's been 12 years, and it's the same old story, with the possibility of re-election. If you continue to post, I might even shed tears." They also included 3 crying emojis in their post. Someone else mentioned, with the Taiwan elections now decided, the Democratic Progressive Party's Lai Ching-te has been elected as president. This is the choice of Taiwan's 23 million people. Who gets elected is not as important as voters having their say. The vote represents the will of the people, and those without votes can only vote with their feet. The places people rush to are not paradise but eateries, and the places they flee from are not hell but prisons. Political commentator Zhou Xiaoyi pointed out that the Taiwan election once again exposed 3 major falsehoods used by the CCP to deceive the people of mainland China. First, the CCP claims to serve the people, but true service to the people would involve high-ranking officials, including the party leader, bowing to the common people. Second, the CCP's definition of democracy, such as the people's democratic dictatorship and democracy throughout the process, is merely a cover for its authoritarian rule. True democracy entails the people's right to vote and choose their leaders. Zhou Xiaoyi emphasized that while the Taiwan election dealt a blow to Beijing, it also awakened more mainland Chinese people, making them realize the kind of society they should live in and the type of leaders who genuinely serve the people. This is precisely what the CCP fears the most. Similarly, Yuan Bin, another political commentator, stated that now that the Taiwan election has concluded, reflecting on the entire process, who suffered the most significant loss in this election? "I believe it wasn't the Kuomintang or the People First Party but the Chinese Communist Party, which exerted its utmost efforts." Don't forget to comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. If you find the information helpful, please share this video with a friend to watch together. This will be a great source of motivation for our team to produce more and more quality and reliable videos. And also don't forget to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths. Thank you for tuning in.